I've just had one of the most peaceful night's sleep. It is so quiet here. Aside from the rain and the birds, it is incredibly quiet, and this is a really interesting campsite, and I'm not surprised to be the only one here. So let me show you. This is my site. There's my van truck. You know, it's a little grown over. There's a fire ring. And over here is once a picnic table, okay? And then you can see the road in is a little grassy. Here we have another site. It's just green. The picnic table's flipped over. But if we go through the site, it is so cute. Here's one of the other sites. It is completely grown over. There are little trees starting to grow out of the picnic table. Blackberries on the bench. That's another site there. So you can see my tire tracks. I turned around in here. But you have a site there. And then you have this site. Look at that. It's so precious. And there's a site over here. They're just a little green. So yeah, I parked in the only site that kind of looked like it had been used any time in the past many years. It seems like the only people that really come in here are hunters, because they have the, like there, that pole hanging up across for hanging deer. And yeah, I read this is a popular spot for locals, but it's clearly not popular with anyone. It's very grown over. The whole road in is like this, with like grass down the middle, and a section where it was actually just grass all the way across. So it's kind of surprising I got in here, like that there was no deadfall in the way. I didn't have to clear the road. So anyways, this is the outhouse here, and as you can see, it is not exactly in a usable state. So yeah, I'm not gonna risk falling in there to use it, but it's very quiet here. I am off the main line. There's another track that comes in here. So I haven't heard any vehicles. It's been so quiet and peaceful. It's so pretty. The vibe in here is really good. Hopefully the rain didn't ruin that audio, but yeah, I left late last night after doing all my chores for a long back road adventure, so I just came in here to spend the night, and from what I read, I thought it would be like, oh, maybe there'll be other people there. I came in at like 9, I was like kind of worried about disturbing other people. There's no other people here. I could probably stay here a while and not see another person. I am planning to take off today, but I filled my battery on the drive here, and so it doesn't make sense to drive with a full battery when I could be using that time to charge. So I'm actually just hanging out. I have my like Makita batteries and my drone batteries and stuff charging, and I'm going to edit until those are done, so that when I drive I can plug in my computer and then I can make back all of that power, because I basically only make power when I'm driving. Very occasionally I'll put up my solar panel, but I have to be in camp for like a full day and have good sun, and it's really not like that efficient of a way to make power around here. It's cloudy a lot, and it's gonna be raining for days. So yeah, I just want to make the most of my drive. Okay, so I made it. It took about 2 hours, and it was really rough road at times, so I have quite a mess in the van to clean up. And yeah, it's not for the faint of heart to get out here, but it is beautiful on the drive in. I just couldn't believe the last time I came out here in my minivan. Like, what was I thinking? I did it, but it would have taken a long time. I'm so glad there's no one else here. This is technically a two-person site, and last time I stayed down in front of this picnic table, but that mud is so horrendous. I will not risk getting stuck and having to deal with that. It's really nice. I'm so glad to be off the road. Kind of surprised I didn't see any bears, because I've seen tons of bears on the road lately. I've only caught them with my cell phone, but yeah, I saw like 6 last week or something. So the road to get here goes through a bunch of landslide zones with like big warning signs, and then the hill to get down to this side of the island is like 25% grade. It's really steep if you do not have good brakes. Like the bottom of the hill is like right in front of the ocean. So if you don't have good brakes, you could just end up in the ocean, which is why I waited until I got my rear brakes rebuilt. So yeah, it was fine. But truck is heavy. Truck is like 7,500 to 8,000 pounds. So you just gear down and just go really slow, and it was fine. But I remember when I came in my minivan, I barely made it up that hill on the way out. I was like, I had bad tires, I had no power, I was overloaded, I was just spinning all the way up. I really got out by like the skin of my teeth. So yeah, we're gonna spend a few days down here. So yesterday while I was doing chores, I picked up another bag of these mixed greens from the Food is Love farm at the natural food store in Dajinguides. It's so good. I love these greens so much. I'm gonna make a simple salad with some extra arugula that I think is also from the island, and then these pea shoots I got from Tillel. So a little bit all over the place, and I have a special topping I will get to at the end. But yeah, instead of making my own dressing, I bought this. It's made in Victoria, and it's really good. It makes it just even easier to make a salad. So I'm gonna put this on. Yeah, it was a busy day yesterday because I got some greens and had a shower in Dajinguides. And then I had coffee and brunch at a cafe I really enjoy in Skidegate. And then I drove all the way to the north end up to Masset, where I had mail to pick up, and then ended up dropping in to say hi to my mechanic, hanging out with his wife for a while. Then I went and did laundry. And I have made it a goal in recent months to just try to be more approachable when I'm in public. I think for safety reasons, I'm not very approachable, like out in the wild. And I can talk about that if you're interested, let me know. But when I'm in town, I try to be friendlier and more approachable. For like normal people, not like weird people I've been warned about. But I was doing my laundry at the RV park, and I was talking to this guy and, you know, just being nice and stuff. And then he came over and he gifted me this bag of crab meat that he had caught the day before, and they had cleaned it. And like, that's so much work. All this just crab meat already cooked and prepared and everything. So yeah, I'm having a very local meal tonight. Island grown greens, island crab. I didn't have to do anything. It was so good. And yeah, the dressing. It's not that far away, so. Frank is really interested. I heard you can have a little bit, but not much. But we're actually really, really remote now. I'm not taking the chance. And also, this is like golden food, Frank. I'm sorry. I'm not sharing. You can have your treat. You can have this back. There you go. Ah. Real simple. Quick and easy. Just crab and dressed greens. This dressing is sesame ginger nutritional yeast dressing. Mmm. I think I'm also, just to make it a little more filling, gonna add some pumpkin seeds. Toasted, salted pumpkin seeds. So good. I get these big bags of them at Costco. Well, good morning. I think I said something just last night about how this is like a really small rec site and it would be like not ideal or kind of weird if somebody else showed up. But then do you also remember how I said I was like trying to be more friendly and stuff? So I was like hanging out in my van. It was like 9:30 last night and a truck camper rolls up and I'm like, oh boy, like one, it would suck if they parked right in front of me there. And two, it would extra suck if they got stuck in that mud and then I got involved in that. I don't mind helping people out, but I'd rather not, especially when the issue's like really obvious anyways. So some girls, young girls, get out and like come take a look around and then like more people start trickling in. I'm like, what the heck? I'm in my van, everything's closed up. It was like kind of gross. And so yeah, there's like 8 or 9 people and I'm super like non-confrontational unless somebody's like directly offensive to me. I try to just, you know. So yeah, so I just stayed in my van. I was like, I didn't want to influence their decision and just like see what they do. So yeah, they came, they set up. They did try to get the camper down here, but decided not to. Not because of the mud, but because of like a motorbike on the hitch. So they're just parked like right there. A couple other cars and a whole bunch of tents. I think it's like all chicks and one guy who was cleaning up after them this morning. It was really cute. But yeah, I mean, I don't own this place and it was late. And I guess where they were hoping to go, the bridge is out, which I knew, but yeah, so there's like tents all over. I'm gonna go count them in a moment, but you know, they're pretty quiet. They were friendly. I got out like after they were, like when they were setting up. I had to take Frank out for a pee, but yeah, I mean, honestly, they could have, the nicest grass is like right in front of me. They could have like set up tents like right in my view and they didn't. So that was super respectful and they've been friendly. They've all gone off for an adventure, a walk or something now. So I'm here alone. It's really nice, but I'm glad that they're not like blaring music or running generators or yelling and getting drunk and rowdy or like have toddlers or unruly dogs. So in terms of being descended on by a mob of Gen Zers, I feel so old saying that. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. So, and I also know like this is my life and I can stay here as long as I want. So I can just wait till they're done their weekend and then I'll have it all to myself. So if you've been hanging out with me for a while, you might remember last summer I had quite a hard time actually with my inability to avoid people. I found it really distressing for my mental health. And, you know, upon looking deeper into that, I came to realize that part of that had to do with also facing Frank's aging and that, you know, because he's having mobility issues, we just weren't able to go on foot away from people like we used to. It used to be that we could just walk further than other people could walk and easily find really remote, quiet places to enjoy that peace and solitude. And so I've done a lot of soul searching since and, you know, come to start to accept the fact that the Earth's population just keeps going up and up and up, and people really want to live in Canada, in BC in particular, and that if I don't get my head right, I'm not gonna just have a good time in summer. And so because ultimately I'm in control of my own happiness, I've been working on that, especially with the help of a therapist, which is why I'm so grateful for my therapist who I work with through BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the sponsor of today's video, and it makes therapy so accessible and easy to access. You know, for me, I'm on the road, I'm living nomadically, and even if I was living in a house, I wouldn't want to go into town and deal with parking and the awkwardness of face-to-face persons. BetterHelp can easily match you with one of over 30,000 licensed therapists in their network, depending on your needs and location, which just allows you access to a wider range of expertise than might be available in your specific area. Best of all, it's really easy to get started. You just go online, fill out a quick questionnaire about your needs and preferences in therapy, and then in most cases you'll be matched within 48 hours. But if you find that your first match isn't the ideal fit, it's really easy to switch therapists at no additional cost in your settings. And once you are matched, it's really easy in the dashboard to schedule a therapy session at a time that's convenient for you, whether it's voice, video call, or messaging. That's really a personal preference, and so it's nice that you have all the options available so that you're comfortable when talking to somebody. Personally, I found that therapy has been really beneficial in my life, so if you'd like to join me and over 4 million people who have started living a happier, healthier life through BetterHelp, go to betterhelp.com/alpine. You'll save 10% off your first month, and using that link does help support the channel. A huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video, and now back to my video with a very relaxing segment I've put together for you. I'm just using this water I boiled the potatoes in to clean these jars, and then I'll rinse the starch out instead of making new hot water.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, sorry, buddy.
It's okay.
I didn't want to upset him.
Oh no, he's fine, just don't touch him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He just doesn't like being touched. It was at this point I started to feel rather awkward. Filming myself in public still challenges my comfort zone, and likely always will. So to have all the other campers arrive while I was filming myself felt pretty cringe for a moment. I'd hoped to finish filming and getting all my firewood ready while I was alone at the beach, but when that didn't pan out, I decided to sit with the discomfort and continue as I was doing, filming myself cutting this firewood, even though there was other people around. What made it a little easier was that I really enjoy preparing firewood, especially splitting wood with my little hatchet, and I was super excited for the campfire I had planned. The satisfaction of a clean split brings me right into the present moment, and I reminded myself that no one cares what I'm doing, and I shouldn't care at all what anyone else thinks of my filming myself making a sweet campfire. I've worked hard to make this my life and career, and it's a blessing that I get to film myself doing the things I love and share it with you. The wood that had been laying around the fire pit inspired me to try my first triple start fire to create a conical fire which would be aesthetically appealing from every angle so that whatever the wind did, we would have a nice hot place to sit. When I'm making campfires, I tend to build them with a vision from the very beginning and place a lot of intention on the fire being an ever-changing work of art so that not only am I warm, but I also enjoy how the fire looks while building a fire that is relaxing to sit next to. That means building and managing a fire in such a way that it matures into a calm fire that isn't spitting embers at you or demanding lots of attention as the night goes on. Good morning. The campfire last night was amazing. I had so much fun sitting out, and the last hour I was out there, it was actually pouring rain, but the fire was so hot I Only got wet a bit on my back, but it was really cool to be out enjoying the rain on like a cool night, but being comfortable. So yeah, I was up quite late. And then this morning, all of those younger folks took off, and I decided to move my van down to the lower camp so that if somebody else comes, they're not right in front of my view. I'm in my pajamas still, by the way. I haven't had a sip of water. I haven't done anything. I just moved camp right away. Oh, so yeah, it was a bit of an ordeal. Not really, actually not really. I wouldn't have tried it if I didn't have these Max tracks, and I definitely use them to get back here. So yeah, I would not have tried it if I didn't have those Max tracks. I think getting out will be a little easier. I expect to need them, but coming down I was like going slower, and then like literally as soon as my front end like hit this mud, like I was just stuck. Truck is very heavy. On the way out, I'll just like get lined up nice, try to make a run for it, but chances are I'm gonna have to set the boards a couple times, and it's fine. So I'm gonna be here for a few days still. So now nobody will block my morning view. I think it'll be worth it. The other thing about moving down here though means that nobody has to risk this, and it's very easy for them to just park right there, but I'm being friendly. And I'm pretty good at outlasting people at sites, so most people just stay like a night, maybe two. Anyways, Frank is enjoying being outside there. I'm gonna have some water and make coffee. Well, Frank's having a great time outside. He spent all day outside yesterday, actually, hours. As soon as I put the first middle log for the fire pit, he laid and waited and begged for me to build him a fire. So he's very happy when I built him a nice big warm fire. Although I put him inside when it started to rain, because he's not going to be happy staying up past his bedtime and getting rained on. I really like this site. Last time I stayed here, back in 2016, it was in October, and I had one person come in to have a look around, and that was it. I was here for days, and I was all alone. This time, I mean, granted, it's the start of summer. I'm here on a weekend, but it's a little busier than I would like. A little busier than some of the other places I've been, but as the weeks go by, this whole island has been getting busier because I am trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and try to have more interactions with strangers, because like it can lead to like really awesome stuff. As you will find out about in coming episodes. Yeah, so I've been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. So some people came in a truck and they were walking around, and then one guy went back to the truck, and his partner was down on the beach, and I had to go to the bathroom. And so instead of waiting or using my pee jug or just like being awkward in my van and uncomfortable, I got out and went to the outhouse and said hi in passing, which I know is like a completely normal, not impressive thing to do, but that is not what I tend to do. I tend to like just hide in my van and wait for people to go away and like be all like weird and uncomfortable. And so, yeah, I went to the outhouse. On the way back, she'd come up, and I noticed their front light was dangling, and so I just mentioned it, and they knew. So I offered to help them fix it. But yeah, so I brought out the mat that we're sitting on, and she got under, and I like looked for different screws. Anyway, she ended up making it work and stay in. It just like rattles out, and so she got it solid, and they were so grateful for me giving them the motivation they needed to like actually properly fix it instead of just placing it in and then having it rattle out. So yeah, that was cool. It was a lot nicer than the previous people that came in this morning. Oh wow, that is a huge eagle carrying something. What? What is it carrying? Oh, it looks weighted down. Wow. It's like can't like get up. It just like went across. Crazy. I don't know if you saw that in the background. That was a massive eagle. Oh, I hope it lands on that point. I'll get out the telephoto. Cool. Thanks, Frank. He's a really, really good alarm system. Never have a bear sneak up on us, but it was annoying when all those other people were camping here because every time like they would walk by from down the beach having their fire, he would like just bark. Not like incessantly, but he would bark. So anyways, these other people showed up this morning and the lady's like all dressed in hippie garb and drinking. It was like noon and she was drunk and I like get out after they'd been around for a while and she was like so mean to me and insisting I would never get out of here, that I was stuck, and she was just standing there like judging and like looking at the ground and just like being really unpleasant. Anyways, I have no concerns about it, but you let me know in the comments below if you think I'll get out of here or if you think I'm gonna have to like live out the rest of my days here. I trust myself with my experience and my tenacity to get out. Like, I think I will get stuck and I will need the traction boards, but I think I'll get out. I don't think it's the end of the world. So yeah. But the last couple that came with the headlight, they told me there's like a huge like F-150 like off the side of the road, like on the hill out of here. They were towing a big trailer and they have a camper on the back and they didn't do a good job leaving this place. So yeah, I'm less concerned. There's more going on. Yeah, that was cool, that eagle. Anyways, yeah, I'm just really trying to just be less awkward and weird and like uncomfortable with other people around, because every summer it gets busier, just more and more people moving to BC, more and more people getting outside, and come June, July, and August, it is a real effort to be somewhere that is both nice and to have it alone. It's just not realistic. And if I really, really wanted most of all to get away from people, there are lots of ways I could do that, and people might pass by, but they wouldn't linger. But they wouldn't be as nice as this. And Frank wouldn't have as good of a time as he's having. And so, yeah, I've chosen Frank's happiness and our memories together, even if that means getting over being uncomfortable with other people in my space when I'm in the wilderness. Thank you for joining me for another adventure, this time on the wild west coast of Haida Gwaii. I hope you will stick around for part 2 of this adventure. If you haven't subscribed already, it's free, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe. Leave me a comment below with your favorite part of this video, and maybe include a little wave emoji, which will let me know that you watched the entire video. A huge thank you to patrons for supporting me as a creator and making the production of these videos possible, including great footage like this. I hope to see you in the next one, and until then, have a great day.